pushbacks from people, and a lot of them are going to go on for a very long time. I mean, people that have been watching me do this for close, I'm coming up on 1,000 days of being on an all meat diet, and I think it's October 11th will be 1,000 days. And still, people that I've known all my life will say, I just don't think it's healthy. I just don't think. I'm like, did you think it was healthy when I was 300 pounds? Did you think it was healthy when I was wearing size 42 pants? You didn't say anything to me then. And, you know, I guess that's part of that. They don't want to be caught fat shaming. But when they see you getting in shape and you're just doing something that doesn't match what they think is normal, they're going to give you pushback. And I can't understand why so many people continue to be that way, other than the fact that they are brainwashed. I mean, when you hear the same thing over and over and over and over for 40 years, you tend to believe it. And when you have a belief, tell them the truth. So having that community is a big part of it. Now, I don't personally watch a lot of the YouTube community. I do watch some of the doctors because I don't have a doctor I can ask questions to. So I like Dr. Barry and Dr. Baker, and I even used to watch Dr. Saladino, although I don't know, he's done some things with his diet change that I don't totally agree with, so I don't watch him as much. But I get that community from the channel, because I get so many responses from the people that are out there that tell me that my story has affected them. So that keeps me going too. And I think it would be the same. It's a symbiotic relationship, because they're telling me how much I inspire them and they inspire me right back. So that's been the key for me, is community, and then just that attitude of screw it. I'm going to get up and do it. I'm not going to let today get away. And I do take my rest days. As a matter of fact, today's Saturday, so this is my rest day. I want to take a break. I was moving trees all day in the yard yesterday, probably overdoing it a little bit. I'll have a video coming out, I think tomorrow or Monday, that shows some of that. And but it's nice at age 50 to be able to get out there and throw a 10-foot log on my shoulder and carry it off so that I can get it off my property. I just love it. I love that community, and I love when I get it done. Those are the keys.
Nice. Well, thank you for doing what you do.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you guys for being here too, because I mean, it's like I say, the inspiration we give each other helps us to overcome all this negativity that's out there about this. And I just want to see more people wake up. I love that friends of mine and some family members have joined in by finally seeing what I'm doing. And I can't wait to share some more of their stories. And I also agree with something Carrie said in the beginning. It's those individual stories that are so important. I love Dr. Baker and I love Dr. Barry, but these guys seem to be genetic freaks sometimes. They're big, beastly guys, and they're doctors. So, I mean, you look at them and you say, I can't be that. I mean, he's like the power lifter guy, and, you know, Dr. Barry's a practitioner. So you think he's got all this knowledge that you're not going to have. So you feel like you can't do this. But when I share these stories of regular people, and I do these carnivore conversations with some of the people who have found my channel and told me their stories, those are the most inspiring things out there, because somebody's story is going to be different than mine. And being able to share more of those stories, it's going to resonate with more and more people and start that cascading effect that we're seeing happen right here.
Right. The ripple effect. Yeah. I honestly don't believe we would be here doing this 24-hour live stream if I didn't learn about carnivore for you, because it fired me up so much. I don't, who knows what would have happened, but it's a crazy thing, that ripple effect, because now I'm doing it, and my mom's doing it, and both of my sisters are doing it. And it's just crazy how it spreads. I really love watching your YouTube channel. I wish we had more time to continue talking. We've got a little time left. I think, Adam, maybe we can do a super chat or two, but I was going to say, Dante Ferrigno Freedom, I have a link in the description below. I highly recommend everyone check out Dante's channel. That's the biggest thing I see people getting stuck on. they always say you have to know your why. I think a lot of people know their why. They're desperate. There's desperate people out there that are hopeless. They have to know their how, and in order to figure out your how, you have to do the research. Like Dante was saying, there's so much amazing free information out there, whether it's from Dr. Jordan Peterson or from Dante's channel or these other channels. You just got to go out there and do your research. It's such a blessing that we have all this free information at our fingertips. You gotta use it to overcome your fear so you can figure out your sort of how of it. But yeah, so Adam, is there any super chats we can cover quick? This is going to be such a crazy event.
Oh my goodness.
Talk to
Gary,
Dante for a couple more hours.
We have a lot. So we're going to try to go through these extremely rapid fire. So again, Dante, thank you for being here and helping with this cause. Undoubtedly, you've helped raise a lot of money so far. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
Awesome. So first we have Peachy Pam is a new member. Thank you. The Retired Fat Guy, new member. Awesome. Andy Pollock, new member. Carnivore Cure, new member. Alan, new member. Eat Meat, Feel Good, a new member. Susan Shaw, new member. Shannon Bedard, new member. The Kingdom Way Keto to Carnivore, new member. Don, new member. D. Metler 9, new member. Carnivosaurus Rex. Healthy Carnivore UK,
Okay,
new member.
so
Lee Kaiser, new member. The Poca Moonshine family, new member. And Carnivore
so
Scott,
while they're
the
looking
Vivo
at the
Data says,
chat,
amen.
I just wanted to share to you real quick
Patty Ann,
why I'm
looking
doing
forward to
this.
finding even more
My
YouTube
husband and
channels to
I
follow and learn
have
from. I love watching this movement, community growth.
found
Thank
a
you for all
way
you do,
to take the pain
Kingdom
away
Way Keto Carnivore,
is what I
Super Chat
think.
279,
My
thank you.
husband started carnivore
This is Kelly
about
Hogan, I believe.
3
My
months
zero carb
ago,
life. I'm
and
excited
I
for the
started
message
with
to-
him, but I'm not
be
as
spread.
serious
Eat
as
the
him.
meat,
I don't have
save the
that big
humans.
why.
Kelly, awesome.
But
Thank you.
he started the carnivore
Anja
diet,
Bruckner,
and
remember?
he's been paying away
Cristobal
since then.
Gonzalez,
He
Oliver
started having
Cavalia,
hip problems
SEK,
and
$27. Hi, I'm from
tendinitis,
Spain and live in
and he
Sweden.
doesn't want to
Awesome.
go under
And Dave Mack,
the
$2,000
light or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ER
donation.
or operation
Super
room.
thank
So
you.
that's why I did this.
Lou
So
Lay, new member,
I just
awesome.
wanted to share to you,
Michelle,
Homesteadhow is actually
$3
having
Canadian, super
a
sticker,
live
thank you.
chat or live video right
Matthew
now
Tremblay,
to
happy
raise
birthday
money
and
to
awesome
do
stream. That's
documentary
Alia. Good
for
birthday today.
people
Michelle's
that has
$5
problem
Canadian
and
super sticker,
got
thank you.
cured
Kathy
or
D,
their problem
$20.
was
Awesome, thank you
minimized
so much.
just doing the carnivore diet.
Kingdom Way
So,
Keto to Carnivore, $6.99
I
Canadian
also
super sticker. Thank you. Diane
feel
Keck,
a
$50.
little bit
Woohoo,
of
thank you.
healing in my body. I am
There's
trying
a
to
lot of
lose
these.
weight too. I'm like 25
LAL
25 pounds
0
over
carb
my
63,
weight, but I'm not,
$4.99 super
not
sticker.
gonna share you
You?
my weight.
Donna
I
Oliver,
just wanted to, I just wanted to
Thank
share
you.
to you the Homesteadhow, and
$11.99 super
hopefully
sticker, thank
this
you.
video
$50
will help
from
you
Carnivore Brothers,
and
thank
will
you so
kind of
much.
enlighten you
Cindy Nixon,
on
new member,
how
awesome.
you start your diet
Marty
or
Mack,
how
$50 Canadian.
to
Huzzah,
be
everybody,
in your
let's do
way
this.
to health.
We
So
agree.
let's go back to the
Retired
video.
Fat Guy, $20. History is being written, and God has sent you Carrie to help bring back the way we are supposed to be eat. Fight back against big food, big pharma, and the crap the FDA is saying is okay and labeled as food. Thank you. Awesome. Good job. There we go. New member, Melissa, $1.99 super sticker. Ricky Lee, Adam S, $1.99 super sticker. Thank you. Martha, $20 super sticker. Thank you. 2, I guess that is. 6 weeks into carnivore. After 4 years of D2, my BSL is healthy range. Stopped metformin and Ozempic. Fibromyalgia almost gone. Arthritis in wrists almost gone. And I've lost 28 pounds so far. Thank you for what you guys do. Love to you all from Australia, George. $50 super chat. Thank you so much. Awesome. E Raspberry, Canadian, $2. Awesome. Thank you. $20. Susan K, super sticker. Thank you so much. Adam S, $10 super chat. The Dreo Chef Maker is a game changer for carnivore convenience. Thanks for running this, Dante. That's a big one for Dante. Let's see. Healthy Carnivore UK. Man, this is never ending list. $10 British pounds. Carrie really does walk the walk. I bought the T-shirt, but I'm donating as well. Awesome. Thank you. TMR 7171, $20. Thank you. Who's your carnivore? $10. Carnivore for life. Love you all. Let's get this movie made. Awesome. Heat of Oregonian, $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. And Buck Desno, $10. Did Dante mention mood changes? I've been in and
Huge.
out of the room. That's it.
That's
Thank
all.
you.
Wow.
everybody.
That's just the first hour.
Wow.
Right.
It's humbling. I can't thank everyone. I can't thank everyone enough. It's again, every penny from these, the memberships, every single penny goes to the carnivore diet documentary. So that's the amazing thing with all of this is I keep saying it's not my carnivore diet documentary. It's our carnivore diet documentary. It's not going to happen without this whole community. So I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you, Dante. I know I don't want to give you a big head like last time, but I hope you realize, I really do hope you realize and just take a deep breath and think about all the people's lives you've impacted, because I was just going to do that 130-day video, and the number of people I said that found carnivore the same way I did. Dante Ferrigno, Dr. Berry videos. They thought you were crazy. I thought you were crazy. Then we watched Dr. Berry videos, and so many people have taken that path. So it's just amazing what you're doing. And I got to show this real quick. This right here, look at this lineup of people. These are all here today. This is like the ripple effect, the downstream effect from you. I really don't think I'd be doing carnivore if it wasn't for you. And I know that's true for so many other people. So I can't thank you enough. You have an open invite anytime, and I really encourage everyone watching, check out Dante's channel. Go back, watch from the beginning like I did. Every time you post a video, I look forward to it. I enjoy doing it. Since you got the new house and now you got chickens, it's like really cool because I'm a homesteading guy here. So yeah, I can't thank you enough, Dante. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I'm really just honored to be able to do this. This has become my purpose in life, is to be able to help people see that there is hope, that they can get healthy. And I'm just thankful to be a part of this. That's every day is a blessing when you're able to have that purpose and move forward and be able to help people see the truth. It's something that I've wanted to do all my life. When I used to talk about politics and history and things like that, and I still mix some of that in with my channel, but it felt like I was preaching to the choir or falling on deaf ears. And with this, I've been able to open people's eyes to something that is changing lives. And I'm just glad to be a part of it. And I appreciate you having me. Happy birthday, Alia.
Thank you so much. I'm 40 today, 40 years old. And I look a lot
Awesome.
younger than I do than 6 months ago when I started.
It's fantastic. Yeah, my wife just hit the big 40, and a lot of people say, wow, she looks like she's in her 20s. I'm like, yeah,
Oh, wow.
I know. I love it. I'm just so thankful. But I'm 50, so,
You look
it's
amazing. Amazing.
Oh, and by the way, for those who ask, before I let you go, I shaved my own head because I was already losing my hair at the beginning of this, and I had been losing it up here for years. And I'd always said if I started to lose my hair, I was not going to go with the comb over and try to hide it and all those things. But that's exactly what I was doing for like 10 years because I wanted to hide my face. I wanted to hide the fat cheeks and everything else. And once I realized I don't have to hide anymore, I said, I'm just going to screw it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what I've been saying I was going to do. And I shaved it off, and I don't miss it at all. So
Awesome.
before anybody says I lost my hair on carnivore, this was a personal choice. Just wanted to let that be known. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for having me. I've already stayed longer than I think I should because I know you got a lot of folks coming, but I appreciate what you're doing, Carrie. And I hope you raise the money you need to get this movie made because it's going to help a lot of people.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Dante.
God bless you.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
God
Enjoy
bless
your
you guys
weekend.
too.
Bye.
All right. Alia, I think we have an update, right?
Yeah, so let me share my screen. By the way, everyone is amazing. You will not believe what has happened in the last hour. It is crazy, but I got to figure out how to share my screen. Sorry, I'm not as technically savvy as our friend Adam. 1 second. 1 second. Oh, share screen. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. 24-hour fundraiser. Here we go. Look at this, guys. Literally in an hour, we've made almost $1,100.
Wow.
You guys are amazing.
Oh, hang on.
This is incredible. It's been an hour. You guys are awesome. Rock and roll. We're definitely going to make $50,000 today, but I need to do some Alia math really quick. So everyone listen up in the chat. All 1,200 of you, listen up. Listen up, because this is some amazing math right now. So we have over 1,200 people watching. So if 1,200 people donated $100 right now, we would literally make $120,000. Unless my math is wrong. Adam, tell me if my math is wrong.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but listen.
Did you use your fingers and toes? That's all I need to know.
I did. That's how I calculated such a high number. I have lots of fingers. But I want to put a plug in. If you want to get your name into the final credits, we're going to do $500 and up is going to get your name into the credits in the documentary. So 1,200 people, sorry, that's a lot of people. You're going to have to start listing, Carrie. But if 1,200 people did $500 right now, we would literally make $600,000. I think that would probably break YouTube and some Guinness Book of World Records or something.
Right.
Anyways, everyone is awesome. I gotta catch up on adding all the super chats from the last minutes. They're like still popping up there, but we want to see those $100 and $500 super chats and GoFundMe's. Actually, GoFundMe's. Let's do it in the GoFundMe. You guys rock and roll. Okay. See you in an hour.
We got a new guest coming on, Carrie.
One other quick shout out. We got another guest coming up real quick. We got to shout out these.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Carnivore Life. Hey, everyone's got one. Aren't these great? So these water bottles, they're food grade stainless steel. The lids are BPA free, made in the U.S. Johnny F. LLC is hooking us up with these. So if you want to donate to the Carnivore Diet documentary, but you still want to get something cool, these are fully customizable. So you can see I stole Jen's here. I have one that he made for Emma as well. And we have all sorts of different designs. So I'll share some more of the designs later on the screen, but there's designs for I eat only meat, ask me why, compassionate carnivore, and then you can have your name put on it. They also have cutting boards. So the link for this is in the description below, and if you purchase one of these, a lot of the proceeds, like the profits, all go to the Carnivore Diet documentary. So it's a cool way to donate and support a carnivore run business and also get something pretty cool. So we'll share some more of these coming up, but the link for this is in the description, as well as the link for the and everything else. So,
Yep. All right.
Dave Van!
Hey Dave.
Well,
Howdy, Dave.
I've got myself muted. How you going, guys? Good to see you.
Awesome.
What's up, my brother?
Hey, long time no see.
I know, right?
It's still the same day for me. It's still the same day.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
I did get a little sleep, just a little bit.
This is going to be the same day for us for a very long time, I have to say. Dave, it's wonderful to have you on here. I think Sean was like one of the first channels I went on. It was either Sean or you, and I really enjoyed it. Just for the benefit of our audience, would you mind maybe giving us a little background, your carnivore story?
Sure. So when I was at school growing up, I was kind of, I was always slim, but I had this pot belly. And, as I was growing up, it was similar to what Dante was saying. It was kind of the low fat craze, and I did everything right, but I could never get rid of that pot belly. I could never get my weight under control. And when I was 17, I had a stroke. I went to bed on a Sunday night, and I woke up on the Monday morning, and I didn't realize what had happened, but I had a stroke while I was asleep. And everything's good. All got fixed up. It was caused by a ruptured aneurysm in my head, but everything got completely fixed. So there's no problem there. But following that, I had a lot of anxiety and depression, and that led to overeating and overindulging in alcohol, and things just kind of spiraled out of control. And along with that, my mental health and weight and all that kind of thing. And so I went to see the doctor about a year ago, or about 15 months ago now. and he said we need to really do something about the alcohol, and also, surprise, you're pre-diabetic. And so the pre-diabetes was a bit of a shock, but the alcoholic thing, I kind of knew that. But he wanted to put me on some drugs. He prioritized the alcohol problem, and he wanted to put me on some drugs that would control the drinking. And they were a bit scary because if you had alcohol while you were taking these drugs, you'd become violently ill, and it didn't sound very nice to me. And probably I didn't really trust myself to stay off the alcohol, so I knew I'd end up getting violently ill. So I said to him, look, can you give me a few weeks to see if I can get this under control myself? And I'd been on low carb and keto off and on throughout my life, and I knew that being on keto would give me some self-control. And so I put myself on keto, and I did everything I could to abstain from alcohol and all the junk, and I was finally successful. And so going on keto that time helped me kick the alcohol and the junk, but I started suffering some excessive bathroom activities, so we just put it that way. And I wasn't happy about the the speed with which I was going to the bathroom after eating food. So I started kind of searching around Google and YouTube, looking for what might be the problem. And I think it was a Ken Berry video, basically talking about vegetables are not necessarily your friends. And he singled out some vegetables that were the ones that I was eating. And he talked about nightshades. And I was eating like nightshades, like red peppers, yellow peppers, that kind of thing, because I was convinced that's what was giving me my vitamin C. And so his video convinced me to try cutting it out of my diet. And I've been carnivore ever since.
So you went carnivore, quit sugar and drinking all at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
But and I kind of didn't make a conscious decision to go carnivore. It just kind of happened. Like I didn't know that. I mean, my list of benefits having been on carnivore is huge, but I didn't go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to get all these benefits or whatever, because I didn't intentionally start it that way, it's all been luck.
Yeah. Hey, when we talk about carnivore, you hear this in the carnivore community all the time. You need to have your why. And I think there's a lot of people out there that have their why. We talked about it earlier, people being hopeless, depression, things like that. But it's always the how that I think people get stuck up on. They're like a deer stuck in the headlights. They don't know what to do. They're scared. They've been told other things. You've been doing this for over a year now. What advice do you have for someone that knows their why, but they're kind of like a deer stuck in their headlights on the how?
Some people are going to be, they need to ease into it, and some people need to go kind of cold turkey into it. To be honest, I would say just go into it, go cold turkey, and deal with the consequences as they happen because of that, which might be, more trips to the bathroom than you'd like. But just cut everything out. Go with just eggs, beef, that kind of thing, and just do it, because 30 days, 60 days, 90 days in, you're not going to want to go back. Just make the change. And don't commit to it. Don't act like it's going to be, something you have to do for the rest of your life. Just say to yourself, I'm going to do it for 90 days. And then at that 90-day mark, I'm going to say to myself, how do I feel? And if I don't feel that much better, I've got the option of going back to the way I was eating before. But just at that 90-day mark, you're going to evaluate it. And I would say 99.9% of people will never go back.
Yeah, I love that saying too when you tell people that, because Dave, when you're telling them that, and I know too, it's like, yeah, you can just quit at 90 days, go back to eating ice cream, do whatever you want, but you and I know darn well they're not going to.
Right?
Too many benefits at that point.
There's no ice cream flavor in the world that's worth giving everything up,
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Hey, brother, what is something that you've read recently or learned recently that you feel like has something that maybe you used to know or you just realized it, something to that nature that just made a lot bigger impact on you, something that you learned, whatever the case may be recently, that's just made a big impact on you to keep you motivated, to keep you focused. If you can,
I think something that I've learned about myself or something that I've learned just generally.
either way.
Okay. I guess like if I look at, I think honestly, one of the things that I've noticed as an improvement recently that makes me realize there's no going back is just people talk about brain fog and things like that sometimes, but for me, one of the biggest changes is the ability to just step back from a situation and look at things objectively and not feel that you're, even if it's a situation where you're a part of it and you're party to a debate or something like that, or you're working on a project and you've got a lot at stake, you're able to kind of step back and just go, you know what? I'm going to look at this objectively. I'm going to make rational decisions. And I could never do that before. And that's been a life-changing thing.
It's almost like a removal of the emotion that used to overpower and control your life. Yeah, it's almost hard to explain that, but that is an amazing benefit of eating the carnivore way of eating. And so, absolutely, thank you.
It's almost like the removal of the fear of losing things. Like, because you're always worried about you losing something, and then suddenly you're just like, well, I'm gonna just evaluate this, and
do you feel like that's linked to like the confidence that you gain on this, because you're so confident that it distills a lot of that fear, and you're like, no, I'm not gonna fear losing it, because at the end of the day, I've had this mental change, and if it goes away, I'll just get it again. Like if something happens, I'll just handle it when it comes up, because I can do anything, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah. Definitely. It's just I'm gonna handle things as they come now, and you kind of also get this feeling of I'll handle things as they happen, and I'm just gonna deal with it. But also you get this kind of, there's energy, like physical energy, but there's also an energy you get where it's like, the best way of being able to describe this is like it's an attitude of, okay, what's next? I've ticked that off my list. What's next? What's next? What's next? And I mean, I'm 48 years old. I've gone through 47 years of my life being unable to do that kind of thing, and it's just magical.
It is that determination, that consistency is quite magical, and it's quite exhilarating to finally get to a point where used to, even personally myself, as you're well aware, I would duck those things. I would duck those hard decisions. I would duck the responsibility. I would duck and use the excuses to put the blame on everybody else except for me for the decisions that I made. And it was everybody else's fault why I could not do what I said I was going to do. And finally, at some point, like, there's this mental shift. And until we take that responsibility, until we start making those hard decisions, until we step out into the risk that comes along with doing something that you think is insane, you're never going to get the reward. You're never going to see meaningful change. And that is like a key component of this way of eating. And I am so thankful. I know you are too. And before we go on, because I should have kept up with the schedule quite a bit better, and I didn't. But I want to say thank you to you, Dave. You know I love you, brother. But you were the very first person that when I started my YouTube channel after I'd been on this for quite a while, that opened your doors up, opened your heart up with me, and just communicated with me. And that has meant a lot. You know it does. I try to remind you often. But once again, thank you. And I appreciate you very much, Dave Mack.
100%. And, you know, it's been an enriching experience for me. You've enriched my life.
Thank you.
So very,
You're the same.
yeah.
So everyone follow Dave on YouTube at Zero Carb. We have a link in the description below. But I still have another question. You've been doing this over a year now. A lot of people are worried about sustainability. Like, and you were talking about what's next. What's next? You just see yourself doing this forever. And I guess the second part of the question is it been easy to sustain? Have you had any big roadblocks over the course of a year, or any big failures? Or
No. Like, I have for 15 months, I've eaten nothing but I've changed the beef a little bit sometimes, but basically ground beef, eggs, and you know, a few months ago I was still eating cheese, but that's it. That's all I've eaten for the last 15 months. And I don't get bored of it. I look forward to it every time. I feel like it's sustainable. I can look into the future and I can see myself eating exactly the same way for forever. Because one of the great things about carnivore is you no longer think about food. I don't care about food anymore. I don't care about snacks. I don't care. I don't walk into the kitchen and look at the fridge longingly like it's a girlfriend that jilted me in high school or something. You know, it's it's like I don't care about it anymore. I've got no relationship with the fridge anymore except that it keeps my beef cold. You know, that's it.
that's such a huge thing that people don't think about. The control the food had over us before. What are we going to eat for dinner? Even just to make a dinner. Oh, it's this recipe with 26 ingredients. Got to run to the store. What are we going to eat next? What are we going to eat at the birthday party? Having none of that is so life-changing. It's very liberating. It's kind of a weird benefit of carnivore I never would have imagined would be so enjoyable.
Liberating is an awesome way of describing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very liberating. Yeah.
So one other big thing I think I heard recently from you is you're pretty much doing this YouTube thing full time now. Is that right?
Well, I will be.
Okay.
So I've got a week of my full-time job left, and then you know, I'm set free. I'm set loose on the world. So
Nice. You do such an amazing job. It's always fun seeing your videos. They're so well done. Highly recommend everyone who's watching check out Dave, subscribe, go over, like. I think too, like Sean said, I think you were one of the first people that reached out to me, and I went on your channel. It was a blast. And before that, I would never have done something like that. It was partially because I was watching your videos and you were a cool guy, and I think carnivore too. You start the anxiety and stuff starts going away a little bit. But I always enjoy it when I see a new Dave Mack at Zero Carb video for sure.
And he's pumping them out every day.
Yeah.
Get them out.
Yeah.
And it's not just like a lot of the other garbage that some people are putting out. It's quality, well communicated, good info, stuff that's helping people. If you're not watching Dave Mack at No Carb Life, like, you got to get over there and hit that sub button and get those notification bell.
Cheers, guys. Yeah.
We're getting some good comments too. Someone says, I love Dave's interviews. Yeah, you knock those out of the park.
I haven't got the comments open. That's why I can't see anything going past.
They're going
I'm
by
sitting here
super,
going,
super
it's
fast.
extremely quiet for a live stream with thousands of people watching.
Absolutely. Well, when you go full time, we'll have to take
Anyway,
that Friday
so
night show to a
while
daily
they're
event.
saying that to Dave. Again, this channel is to just share. It's actually just this video is pretty much to spread the good news on your way to health. And if you wanted to go straight to Homesteadhow video or channel, that's fine. But this is just another way to spread the good news on your way to health. So I think they're getting ready to get the other guests, but I am very appreciative of you guys watching this. You might not be watching this on my live, but you will be watching this later on my channel. So I can't wait for you to know what's best for your health soon. So let's go back to the video.
Two really kind of like, of course, you know, Sean was a big one because he's so positive and especially talking about his depression and stuff. But like a couple of standouts for me, I think, were the early ones, just because they were early, like Rick's one, because Rick's just went crazy viral. Like it got nearly 100K views. And then also Kip, because like it was just getting Kip on the channel was just so random. I just saw one of his videos. He commented on one of my videos. I watched one of his, and then I went, I wonder if this guy, and he had about 1,000 subscribers, maybe less than 1,000 at the time. And it was just, I thought, this guy seems like he's really serious about this. I want to get it. I want to interview him. And, you know, at that stage, I'd only interviewed 2 people. So, yeah, those 2 stick out, Rick and Kip.
Yeah, those are good ones. Oh, Rick is in the chat right now.
Hey, Rick.
Rick's the best. The original. Someone said, I love listening to Dave's soothing voice. I share a deep southern accent just like Sean. Yeah.
Me too.
Dave has the best voice on the carnivore YouTube circuit for sure.
I've got a face for radio, that's why.
Well, hey, Adam, how's it going? Do we have some super chats we want to read through, or any questions for Dave?
We have super chats for sure.
Okay.
Let's see. First off, we have the Kilby Life Meat Dude. Let's change some lives. $50. Thank you so much. Let's see. We've got Tommy DeFonseca. If I said that correctly, I'm sorry if I didn't. Thank you for all you do. Husband and I are carnivore 1 month. I'm down 10 pounds and husband is fighting cancer. We can't wait for his blood work to see the results. Well, we're definitely hoping for good results for you, for sure. Thank you so much for the super chat. Kilby Life. Let's change some lives. Let's see. Lori Woodward RN, $50 super sticker. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you to all the carnivores online. Ordinary Guy, $10. Thank you so much. Cindy Nixon, $20 super sticker. Awesome. Thank you. ANJ, I don't know how to pronounce that. $10 super chat. Thank you. Thanks, Carrie, and all the panel members. Y'all have a blessed day and be about it. Awesome. Thank you so much. The Hyper Carnivore Chef. This is Dario, an Italian chef living in the Netherlands that I interviewed. Very, very cool guy. $22. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Hi, Adam. Good to see you here. I'm at work making pizza for the carb addicts. Following with a headset. Good luck for the documentary. Spread positive vibes and help everyone to get back to their health. Thank you, Dario, so much. We appreciate you. Mandy Bedos. We are rippling around the world. Carnivore for life. Pain-free. Live life. Fill the world with better humans. Awesome. Thank you so much. Snowball. Oh, I just lost it. Hang on. Where'd it go? Snowball, $10. Love you all. Thank you. Ketovore Journey, $50. Awesome. Thank you so much. Almost carnivore, getting there. Let's keep this carnivore train going to spread the message of healthy eating as God intended. Thank you so much. TXLA or Latin chick. Sorry, I messed that up. New member. Thank you. Karsten Borneman, $5. Hello from Germany. This 24 hours is epic. Carrie and everyone. Good luck with the documentary. Thank you so much. The Hyper Carnivore Chef, new member. Awesome, Daria. Thank you. Judith Yates, $2. Thank you so much. Kay Hoshina, $1,000 super sticker. And that's yen, I believe. Thank you so much. Awesome. And Stefan Lawson, new member. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. That is truly appreciated.
Amazing. Thank you. Ali,
It's my
how's it
turn?
going?
Oh my God, it's crazy. This is crazy. People are crazy in the best way possible. First, I want to do a shout out to a Mr. Barry Simon who donated $500 in the
Wow.
$500 in the GoFundMe. Woo! We got a sound effect for that, Adam. $500. Where's your sound effects?
I don't see one in there.
You don't?
Nope.
You don't see any sound effects? Okay, fine.
Nope.
So I'm going to show the grid. Give me 1 second. I can believe this because this is what we are doing, but this is amazing. Amazing. Share screen. Here we go. Look at this. Do you guys see this? $2,500 in an hour and a half.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. We have 666 in super chats, 1,900 in the GoFundMe. I will check on those other categories. If there's a few dollars missing here or there, sorry about that, but this is basically where we're at. I'm really trying to do all the data collection as fast as possible.
Somebody got to do a super chat and get us off that 666. That's all I got to say.
Oh no!
$1 or something. Let's go.
Someone just did $5, so we're all good. We're all
Okay.
good. Let me toss that in there in real time.
Yeah,
So we could change that number. 1 second. Here we go. What does it say now? Totals. Oh, I'm sharing my screen. There you go.
That's better.
Much better.
Awesome.
So we need to do a mathematics update now. So we have 1,300 people watching. I'm going to keep doing this to remind people how mathematics works, my math. 1,300 times 1,000 is $130,000. We can do that in the next 1 minute if everyone wants to donate that much money. Or if you want to do 500, that's 650,000. Wouldn't that be crazy? That would blow my mind.
Yes.
That would be
I
awesome.
mean, the 2,500 is blowing my mind right now.
And at bare minimum, wherever you're watching this at, you can hit that like and share button and it'll cost you absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
Correct.
Hit it for
Correct.
Dave. Dave's worth a like at least.
Thank you, Dave.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to put another plug in for $500 or more. We'll get you into the credits. There you go.
And before Dave has to leave, somebody did ask a question that I think is pretty relevant that and I don't know how much time we got. And if we don't, you guys just move me along. But until then, Dave, could you just speak to a little bit about the cravings, if you've had any cravings for alcohol? Because I know there's a lot of people struggling. A lot of people are still addicted to alcohol and having that issue. And so can you just speak to that real quick about, how the cravings or if it's done away with them completely?
Yeah. So they are completely gone now. It probably took about 3 months. And fortunately, I've got some understanding friends. And, when I first started doing this, I just said, look, I can't come out with you. I can't come around to your house, that kind of thing. Because if I do, the first thing I'm going to do, I'll see someone drinking, is have a beer. So, I told them, no, I can't come around for a while. And I changed my habits as much as I could, my routines, and just kind of the way I walk to work, I would walk a different way. The way, I would take the longer way around. Anytime I was going to walk past a convenience store, I'd go to the other side of the road. And doing that helped me a lot. Changing habits and changing the way I went about just normal, regular things every day. Walking past restaurants, I wouldn't walk past restaurants that were open, that kind of thing. And because I looked at it like, I don't want to see someone sitting at a table laughing and joking and enjoying a glass of wine or something, because that's just going to be too much for me. And so I just cut all that out of my life. and probably about a month and a half in, I was okay to meet a friend in a pub and have like a no alcohol beer.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the point, and she met me, and she was having no alcohol beer as well. So she was kind of supporting me that way, and that helped a lot because I could actually enjoy going out, and and now, basically from 3 months sober, I'm at the point where I could go out with people drinking alcohol and feel fine and not feel anything when I see it. So yeah, it took time, but yeah.
That's awesome, and I'm super proud of you, brother. I mentioned that as well.
Cheers.
But absolutely, and I mean that should give people hope right there in and of itself that somebody's struggling with alcohol, as most of us did whenever we were on alcohol. Because like myself, like I was addicted to alcohol. I could get addicted to anything. Like that's just the personality. There's no such thing as a moderation with me. I'm either in or I'm out. If I'm drinking, I want 2 beers. I don't just want one. So I just don't drink. Like it's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't forgo these things. Cause whatever, long story short, it's not about me, but, yeah, absolutely. That should give hope for those people, and I hope that helps who asked the question. There is ways to get off of it. It does take time. It does take that discipline and the life change. But once you get it, it's going to continue to compound, and eventually, as you heard testimony right here today, it's not an issue anymore. He's put things in place and put steps in place. See, you put steps in place to set yourself up for success, and you are now experiencing that success and thriving, and that's amazing.
And I never thought I'd get here. That's the thing. Like if we rewind 2 years, I would never ever have thought that I'd be at the point where I was having no alcohol. I think everyone's different. I understand that, but I think it can be done. But yeah, if you just kind of commit to really change things and support yourself by giving yourself a diet like carnivore, or at the very least keto, then you'll do okay, I think.
Nice. So Dave, you never thought you were going to get there, but you got there. There's a lot of people out there that are watching that are hopeless, which is kind of the thought behind the documentary and the live stream. We have, if you can hang around a little bit, Dave, we have a couple of pre-recorded things. And I've got one from the one and only Laura Spath. She's traveling right now, otherwise she was going to join us. So she sent us her short little video. So I'm going to share that with Dave and everyone here now. Let me find it here. It'll just take me a second. So we have a whole bunch of these. Like I said earlier, we will share them throughout the day. But here's one from the one and only Laura Spath.
Hi guys, my name is Laura Spath, and I have been eating a carnivore diet for over 5 years now. This whole carnivore 24-hour live stream is such a cool event. Congratulations to Homesteadhow for putting it all together and making this amazing resource that hopefully is going to benefit a lot of people in just learning what a carnivore diet is. I'm so passionate about that because it has saved my life and so many people that I love and helped us to improve our health and just live this active lifestyle that we want to for hopefully a very long time. I really wish I could have been there today. I am in the midst of packing, and by the time that you watch this, I will be on a plane on my way to Madrid, probably halfway through a bag of bacon that I brought with me on the plane. There is gonna be a lot of information from so many different experts that is gonna be thrown at you over the next 24 hours, which is incredible that there's so much information about the benefits and the impact of a carnivore diet. I just wanna remind you and encourage you to take all that advice in and then put it all aside and think about what's going to work for you and your life. It's important to understand the why and the benefits and like all the nutritional stuff, but we're normal people. I work a normal job. Like we're a normal active family who deals with temptations. We shop at the normal grocery store. Like you have to make this work for you. And so while you're gathering all this information, make sure that whatever you're choosing to do and how you're going to implement it is sustainable for you in your life. When I first started a carnivore diet, I was 263 pounds. I was pre-diabetic. I was struggling with severe hemorrhoids, constipation, digestive issues. I was dealing with gallstones. I had tons of skin issues. My sleep was terrible. Energy was terrible. I had knee surgery, a torn meniscus just from my body was exhausted from carrying all this weight around. And I was at rock bottom. Like I weighed myself one day and I realized I was heavier than the day I went into labor with my son at 9 months pregnant, and he was almost 2. And my body was just taking a toll and I was ready for a change. I started with keto and then very quickly tried carnivore. By that point, I was willing to try anything. I had been vegan. I had done Weight Watchers. I had tried everything, but nothing stuck for me until I found carnivore, until I was able to fuel my body properly, until I was able to just deal with the simplicity. There was no tracking. There wasn't this tons of rules. I was able to take all this information and really find a way to make it work for me. In that first year of going carnivore, I lost 120 pounds. And since then, I've really figured out how to keep it off, which I think is one of the hardest things to do, is to figure out how to turn this into a lifestyle over just some diet that we're looking on in order to lose weight quickly. I no longer struggle with skin issues. My joints are great. Inflammation is low. My digestive issues are fantastic and healed. And overall, I'm the healthiest that I've ever been in my life. I understand that there can be a lot of fear associated with starting something like a carnivore diet, especially based on everything we've ever been told. Like, what about, I don't eat vegetables? What are you talking about? How am I ever going to poop again? What about my fiber? All of this information seems absolutely backwards to everything we've ever been told. I really encourage you just to listen to all of these experts with an open mind, and more than anything, just give it a try. I promise you, every single person who has started this started off with the mindset of like, this seems crazy, but everybody says it's working. Let me give it a try. And we've stuck with it because of the results, because of how good we feel, because it's simple, because it works within our lifestyle. I'm able to travel and work. I have a grocery budget and a busy schedule and a family. And yet this is what helps me to stay consistent, to stay healthy, to avoid the traps of the carbs and the sugar and this addiction that I have with food. I'm able to eat meat and nourish my body and really just focus on living a great life with my family. I encourage you to take it one step at a time. So much great information that's here, but pick one thing that you can implement. What's some junk that you can cut out of your diet? Focus on getting more protein and really just figure out how you can start implementing better healthy habits over time. I wish you all the best of luck and information with the rest of this live stream, and I will see you next time.
Awesome. She's the best. Laura,
Nice.
Beth, thank you so much. Hey, we got links in the description. Laura's, of course, on YouTube. If you're not watching her, you really should be. Instagram, and she has her own community as well. And I really appreciate her taking the time to send that video. She was very busy and took some time out to do it. So check out Laura Spath if you haven't already. Awesome. So we have a lot more of those. Some very inspirational ones too. So we'll be showing some more of those throughout the day. We got a heck of a lineup coming still. So we've got Dr. Tony Hampton coming up next, which is going to be awesome. We may have Dr. Barry jumping on at any moment randomly, so stay tuned for that. He's in Poland right now, and we were gonna. He actually booked to join this live stream, and then he was like, "Oh darn it, I'm in Poland that day." And then we were going to pre-record it, and it didn't work out. And he just messaged me yesterday and said, I'll see if I can get on. He said, message him in the morning. I just messaged him, so he may jump on at any moment. We may only get one question. Dave Mack, put you on the spot here. Or people in the comments, if you could ask Dr. Barry one very quick question, what would it be?
If you could never eat ruminant meat again, what would you do?
Ooh, love it. Oh, that gets me scared thinking about it. That's a great one. Sean, I think you're on mute.
I was, man, steady talking. Listen, so if that's a tough one, man. That's real tough because I think if I couldn't eat ruminant meat at all, man, I'd probably eat as many toxic chemicals as I probably could and try to end it right now.
Right?
No, in all seriousness, I don't know what I would do because that's all I eat. That's all I want.
You'd be overdosing on eggs if that's even possible.
Fact.
Right? Yeah, that's a good one. It's so funny though, Dr. Berry. No matter what question I ask him, even if I come up with a really dumb one on the spot, he's going to give me a good answer. He never seems to fail on those. He always knocks them out of the park. So that's going to be exciting. And then we have Dr. Chafee with us for a couple of hours tonight, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I did a couple of videos with him where it was challenging Dr. Chafee's carnivore diet, and we threw all of the really hard, tough questions at him. Like, what about the blue zones? They don't eat meat. This carnivore diet's crazy, or you're going to clog your arteries, or things like that. And he just knocks all of those out of the park. So if anyone here or anyone in the comments has a good argument against carnivore, please let us know, because I'd love to present that to Dr. Chafee later today when he's on.
Yeah. If there's anybody in the world with a good argument against carnivore, please present it in the comments.
Right. Sean, have you gotten into conversations with family and friends where they're like, oh, it's great what you're doing, Sean, but I want to see your cholesterol, or I'm worried about this. Do you talk to people about it?
I will, but they've seen the results, so I haven't had that big of an issue. It's mostly in the comment section and people who are outside. That some people are like, well, what about scurvy? What about I don't know. What about vitamin C? All the things. People always ask those things. I'm like, man, why is it that when somebody presents you with the truth, you're all of a sudden concerned about this abstract little value out here that you never cared about before, but all of a sudden it's the main thing that's going to hold you back. So, I will. Yeah. My family was just as skeptical about this as I was. I was extremely skeptical, going into this, but I felt that a lot of us, encounter that going into it, but after so long and seeing the results and everything else, it's hard to deny the truth about it, especially seeing the labs and everything else.
Right. Yeah. Dave, you said earlier you could never imagine quitting drinking.
The biggest thing is I wish I had known about it sooner. I wish I had known about this 20 years ago or ate this way my whole life. You're going to experience bump in the road. We all have, transitioning into this way of eating. You're going to have your doubts. You're going to have your off days at first, but there's going to come a point when everything switches. And if you just hang with it, if you just push through the issues that you're having, it's going to get better. It's going to show itself how it really works. You just have to keep pushing through, even when it doesn't seem like it's where it needs to be currently, if that makes sense, So just stay the course, trust the process, and I can assure you, it is amazing. There's not just the results and the benefits that I've gotten, but how I feel every day is so much better than anything else,
Right. So, Dave, this carnivore diet documentary, the purpose is to just share real-world examples of people doing carnivore. If you were just browsing through Netflix and you saw a documentary about carnivore, what would you want to see, I guess, for yourself or with what you know now, for the general public to be able to kind of get the message across for them? What would you like to see?
Good question. So, of course, I'd like to see people's results. That you want to see people getting results, and I guess for the purposes of a Netflix video, you'd probably want to see quite dramatic results, but you also want to have the kind of average ones mixed in there, so it seems that it's achievable for anybody. But I think you want to also have some doctors talking about, maybe you want to have, like one of these doctors that'll come out and say, no, you're going to die, high cholesterol is going to kill you and whatever. And then you want to have doctor after doctor after doctor come back and go and rebut them and just say, look, this is incorrect because he's just making a general statement. He's not thinking about the nuance of this. Here's what actually is the case. And you just want to have one doctor go out there and say, this BS kind of thing about cholesterol or something, and then just like 1, 2, 3, 4 doctors hitting him maybe in different ways that, this is why he's wrong. Something like that.
I love that. Someone just asked me that earlier too. Are you going to have any counter arguments to carnivore? Absolutely. It is a really tricky part of the documentary though, because it's like we got to get all these real examples in there. And just what we have alone right now with Bill, I'm like, we almost have a whole documentary on this man's story. But that's not the purpose. The purpose is to get different type 2 diabetes, aging, reproductive health, women's health, heart disease, all of those different things in there. I wish we could see more of that too. I was with Dr. Chafee being on later. I was thinking of him in particular, how good he is at the counter arguments. It would be so fun if we could get a doctor on the other side saying, no, Dr. Chafee, you're crazy and carnivore's crazy for these reasons. I haven't seen much like that yet, but I definitely want to include it in the documentary. And if anyone's watching this right now and they think we're all crazy, please, let's go. I would love to have a civilized conversation. Maybe you have some legitimate points if you're willing to stand behind them. That's great idea.
To be honest, I think you guys are really crazy, but it's not because of how you eat.
I think that's why I love all carnivores, because you have to be a little crazy, or to put it nicer, you have to be brave in order to be a carnivore. You're going against everything you've ever been told. I think that's why people absolutely love and admire these doctors too, because insane to be a doctor and
okay, guys.
Really going against the grain.
I think YouTube is not receiving my streaming live video, so no one's watching right now. But it doesn't matter because this is going to be in my video content forever. I will not delete it, even if it's just chatting or talking from a different channel. I wanted to share to you exactly why I wanted to share this to you, because the fact that we are brainwashed, or we know so much about backward information about our health. And this is the reason why I want you to watch this video as well while I was watching it. I know. Let me mute this one. Sorry, you're
you
hearing
can
it
tell
from
the
the
people
background.
who are in this to help people,
Just a
and the
second,
people that are
guys.
in this to just get rich off of it and try to build their own name. And that's the key thing for me. Like, if you're in.
Okay. So again, I really wanted, I'm very serious about sharing this information to you. My husband used to have a hip problem a long time ago, and we met, and I told him not to eat peanut butter. And he didn't like that, because the fact that he ate peanut butter the whole time, all his life, and why is he hurting now? He just doesn't believe me. He didn't like the fact that I'm telling him not to eat peanut butter. So I told him, okay, I know, I understand that you like peanut butter, but if you will stop peanut butter or eating peanut butter for at least a month and it still didn't work, well, then I will be wrong, then keep eating peanut butter. So what he didn't like, the fact that this peanut butter that I told him not to eat, after 3 days of not eating peanut butter or not putting it in his smoothies, he stopped hurting. So that tells you that food that you've been eating your whole life will turn into something that is bad for you after eating it for a while. So that stopped, which is great, but it started to come back again. And this time it's serious. And he's like, March, I don't have peanut butter in my smoothie. I don't have peanut butter. I don't eat soy anymore. What could it be? So he couldn't figure it out until he saw a nice delighted to meet you video. And he was like, oh, that lady has the same hives that I'm having. But I think delighted to meet you has psoriasis, but my husband breaks in hives as well. And he's like, wow, what is this carnivore diet all about? So he started watching it, and sure enough, we went carnivore full on like him. I'm keto. I think for women it's kind of hard to go full carnivore, but I've seen the difference between him then and him now. He is now going to the gym. His hips pain is gone. He have a little bit like slight sensitivity from it, but other than that, he's lost weight as well. He's on 20 pounds now. He's 53 years old. Oh my gosh, he looks great. I wish I could show you what he looks like right now. Maybe I can share some of our photos. And while doing this, I will definitely share a photo of ours, and so you can see that my husband looks so good, and husband photo, and he didn't need to really lose weight, but I will share you one of his photos. I hope I have a photo here, that way you know exactly what he looks like, because he's so handsome and so cute and adorable and everything else. We are here on our anniversary, and let me just show you real quick. Gosh, this thing is not even loading, but I want to show you a close-up. Hang on. Okay, this is us. We are in the Bacchanal buffet, I think. Or encore. This is an encore. So let me show you what it looks like, or he looks like, and there. Hang on. What? Oh. There he is. I need to resize this photo. Hold on. So that way at least you can see both me and him in the photo, because it's unfair. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but that's him. He looks so handsome, and I feel so bad that he's hurting, and anyway, and I don't want him to suffer anymore, so I'm gonna stop this video. But I think you kind of know what I am trying to share to you guys. I'm going back to the channel, or the YouTube live that Homestead video is showing to us. So let's go ahead and do that real quick and share to you about that. I wanted to, for you to know more about Homestead video, or Homestead Homesteadhow. So let's go back. Okay.
In this space, and you're just trying to build your name, that's not for me. I'm not impressed by that. I don't like that, and I try to distance myself as much as possible from that, because it's not about me, and it's not about you, and it's not about your channel. It's about the well-being of other people, to see their lives change, to see hope in their life, to see a better level, and because this is real life. This is real people who see this stuff, and it's making a real impact in their lives, and the potential that it has to do that time after time after time after time after time all over the world is the main focus. So, I love YouTube. I love the influencers, and I love the stuff. But you can definitely tell the people who are dedicated, like Dr. Berry, like Dr. Chapey, who at the drop of a hat will be like, look, what can I do? I'm super busy. I could be doing it. Like Dr. Chapey could be working on somebody's brain, literally surgery, saving their life. But yet he's on your channel talking to you about a carnivore diet. There's a reason for that, because he sees the importance of it. He sees the necessity of it, and because he has the humility and the boldness to step outside of where he is, outside of the community where he is, and confront this head on and say, look, I know it's not popular. I know it's not, it's not widely accepted, but it's going to be something critical in your life that's going to bring about change. It's going to transform you into a whole nother person. And that, my friends, is why I have so much respect for Dr. Berry, Dr. Chapey, and all these doctors who put themselves out there like that. And the people, everyday people, like Dave Mack, like you guys, like Larry Berquist and Cassie and Ready, Set, Keep, my guys James and Emily. Like, there's so many people who are putting themselves out there just to see a change in somebody else's life, and that's so important to me.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. And Dr. Chafee, too, I think part of it is he's a little crazy as well, because you know that guy's schedule? What is he doing, like 18-hour days doing neurosurgery, and then he's on YouTube all the time, 4-hour-long live streams. The guy is another level. That's not flattery either. That's just pointing out an observation.
Man.
When you see him doing that kind of work, I really think he's like human 2.0. Imagine if Dr. Chafee ate that way as a child all the way up. Like, what a world we would live in.
Carnivore don't need no sleep.
Right. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I didn't get much last night, but yeah. Well, that's the other thing too with carnivore that I love is, and as we're trying to raise money for this thing now, but all the money we're raising for this is going towards the documentary. Not a penny's going into my pocket. But I was gonna say the thing with carnivore that I love and I hope doesn't change is because even like Atkins. Now you got all the Atkins products and keto. You go into Costco now, there's keto products everywhere, and then there's diets and there's money to be made. And don't get me started on Weight Watchers, which is just, it's not, who said that before? It's not weight loss or weight losers, it's Weight Watchers, because you're never going to lose the weight. You're just going to be on it forever and paying for it forever. But there's not a whole lot of bias in carnivore diet. It's like, who's making a bunch of money if you go out and just buy meat and drink water all the time?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely a mental change, man, because and that's what people are seeing in this community. You're seeing an army raise up is what you're seeing. I mean, honestly, you're seeing an army of people who have got sick of status quo, who got sick of buying the lies and the bull crap that's being fed to us from those in power and those who set the standards and those who set the regulation. That's not going to work. Because we're forming an army. So yeah, like somebody brought up on our live last night, have you heard they're going to start censoring the keto and Dr. Berg making this video or whatever? Whether that's true or not, I don't know. What I know is they better try, because if they don't, we're going to take over. I can assure you that. This is a worldwide army that's being raised up to combat the bull crap of health and nutrition that's been shoved down our throats for 50 years. And it's not going to last much longer. There's too many people standing up. There's too many testimonies. There's too many examples, and there's too many people that absolutely know better.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well said.
I think Dr. Jordan Peterson said the other day, it's no longer anecdotal when I have tens of thousands of people reporting the same thing over and over and over to me again. And Sean, you said it good. It's like an army raising up. I think this whole thing is spreading like wildfire. A lot of people don't talk about it, but I've been seeing it here at the movie theater. Every single weekend, I get 3 or 4 more people. They're like, carnivore. It is definitely spreading and growing for sure.
And you know the interesting thing? Every person that goes on carnivore reports the same kind of results. I lost weight, no brain fog, better mood, better sleep, more energy. I'm compelled to do physical activity. right? You never hear someone go, I went to the doctor the other day. He said, eat less and move more. And I feel great now. It's awesome.
Right?
That made me think of something, Sean. The first time you and I spoke, you said this so well. People were saying to me, "Oh, that's great, you lost all the weight, but it's not the meat. You could have done the same thing with vegetables." And Sean said, "Where are all these vegan vegetable videos of people saying I reversed type 2 diabetes, I overcame depression, I lost 100 pounds? Where are they? I don't see them."
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against vegans. I have friends who are vegans. That's your choice. If you're happy with that, more power to you. I'm not mad at you. What I'm telling you is that I'm not seeing that. I'm not. Where's the vegan? I reverse type 2 diabetes. I reverse non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Yeah, you might lose 269 pounds in a year, but you're definitely not going to have great lab values doing it. I mean, good gracious, you're not going to have the energy value that you're seeing in this space doing it. I wish you would. I wish that were the answer. I wish you would thrive being able to do what you wanted to do. Unfortunately, that's not reality. And here we are living in reality, real world. Eat the proper human diet and thrive, friend.
Yep. Guys, real quick, Doc Hampton is here.
Hey.
So I think, should we transition?
Sure. Yeah. So huge shout out, Dave.
See you, brother.
At Zero Carb. Link is in the description below. Everyone go check him out. He's killing it on YouTube. The best interviews and the best voice in the business for sure.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. Kerry, Sean, Adam, and Alia. You're doing great work. This is awesome. And Alia, happy birthday.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, brother. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
All right.
All right. He's the best. Hey, there he is.
Hey guys,
the doc is in.
Oh,
how you doing?
Right. I'm here, man. I'm working. I literally had to carve out some time out of my clinic today just to make sure I was here for this, because I'm not playing with you guys. We got to make a difference, and I'm really excited about being here. And I just wanted to make sure I put my voice to this conversation. So let's chop it up for a few minutes.
Yes, let's do it. I know we've got limited time, and we really sincerely appreciate your time. Would you mind giving us maybe a little bit of background and your expertise for our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. I am absolutely an obesity doc, a family doc, master's in nutrition and functional medicine. And when I thought about, how to frame my thoughts, I thought about thinking of it through the lens of my patients who I'm seeing today, my personal experience, of course, and even I wanted to touch on the blue zone. So I'm going to kind of frame my comments that way. And to be honest with you, man, when I see people in this clinic, I know that they'll benefit from eating more animal based, right? So it's very obvious. I was a vegetarian for about 8 years or so, and then I transitioned to low carb, keto, and now more carnivore. And so when I see patients, I know certain patients are going to benefit, particularly those who come to me with mental illness. I've seen tremendous results. When I think about Amber O'Hearn, who's very active on Twitter, being bipolar and literally treating it with dietary changes. She's a carnivore as well. I think about Dr. Georgia Ede, who treats her patients with mental health issues, and she's a carnivore as well. And what you find is that a lot of docs, people are like, why are these doctors becoming carnivores? Because they found that that's the optimal diet for them. When I have patients with autoimmune diseases, they do extremely well. And when I have patients with those metabolic conditions, those diabetes and high blood pressures, risk for dementia, which is now being framed as a type 3 diabetes, and of course cancer, because cancer cells love sugar. That's their primary fuel. That's called the Warburg effect. And so if you're at risk for any of that, you're pretty much going to do better with a low carb or a carnivore dietary pattern. For me, it was about my gut, a lot of inflammation in my gut. So I've learned that my patients who have gut issues, irritable bowel, they do really well, because when you eat carnivore, you get a lot of collagen from those ligaments. You're going to get omega-3, and trying to get omega-3 from plants is like, it's a job. You can get it from like algae, seaweed, but man, the main source of omega-3 comes from fish, things that come from animals. For me, mental clarity, as I see my patients today, I have a lot of mental clarity, and carnivore provides that for people because you're getting the better iron, the heme iron, the zinc, the B12, the B6, and things of that nature. So, and of course, weight loss. I've had so many people struggle with weight, but when you're doing carnivore, you're not going to be hungry. You're not going to be craving. And if you eat until you're full, you'll do really well with that approach as well. So I just think those are the things I think about for my patients. But one of the things I thought about, I asked my wife about this conversation. I said, you know what? I know things have changed for us since we've been eating more animal-based, but, what stories do you think I can share? And one story I've never really shared is the story of a trip to France. I had a really good friend, Mark and Jennifer Eddy. They were part of my family practice training back in Chicago at West Suburban Hospital. And they got married in France. So it was an opportunity to visit this great country. And I'll be honest, it was amazing. For those who haven't been to France, the castles. I mean, we literally slept in a castle while we were there. We checked out the traditional sites like the Eiffel Tower. But when you're in a place like that, you tend to eat what they cook, right? So I thought I was French for a little bit, and I kind of forgot about my irritable bowel problem. Next thing you know, I'm drinking the wine, I'm eating the rich foods, and just like the previous the guy who started this conversation, Dante Farino, I had just trouble with my stomach, and it was so bad, guys. You won't believe this, that I literally, it got so bad that I had to literally put something in my pants to protect me from having an accident. Imagine you're in France, you're enjoying your trip, and now you have a flare of your irritable bowel. And all you're thinking about now is, how do I get to the nearest bathroom or make sure one's nearby? It was horrible. And who wants to live that way? I mean, and it wasn't just trips to France. If I had to get in front of an audience, if I'm speaking at Low Carb USA or Symposium for Metabolic Health, I spoke at Keto Orlando. I'm going to speak at Keto Palooza in a few weeks. And who wants to have to worry about that and think about that? So it's so funny because they have those bidets, those, things that clean you. And I was like, this is perfect because I have something to make. In fact, I wonder if we all should have that, because it seems a little cleaner than toilet paper. But that's, I don't want to get too. At the end of the day, that was helpful. But another thing that was interesting about France, for those who haven't been there, is that a lot of the restrooms in the restaurants, you have to have money. You have to pay to use the bathroom. So I literally was like, baby, do we have the coins? Are we good? And I just, again, don't want to have to worry about these things. And so, and one thing that's interesting about carnivore is that when I was a vegetarian, I went to the bathroom probably every like 2 or 3 times a day. And it's just really insane. So I just don't have to worry about those things. I know, we got some things we'll be sharing, like some water bottles and things like that, and keychains. I want to encourage you guys to do that. That's the way you get return on investment as we raise funds. But let me say one more thing, guys. When I think about being at home with my wife, now my wife and I celebrated 30 years of marriage this year, which is really amazing. Thank you for the shout out. Shout out to my wife, Ron. I can't believe that I'm 55, and I definitely can't believe I've been married for 30 years. And then I have sons that are 26 and 24, which is insane. But I want to do a shout out to her, because when I had this vegetarian lifestyle, and certainly before I even had that, it was like the 4th of July in my bedroom. And if you know what I'm talking about, it was that gas, guys. And I hate to say it. I'm not Russ. I'm not a comedian, but I'm just telling you the truth. So and that's just not right, man. It was the 4th of July. It was horrible. And now it's like it just went away. I mean, it just completely went away. So I think understanding how it's benefited my patients, number one. Number two is understanding how it has benefited myself. Those are two things that I want to live in a world where people are aware that this is a dietary option. And because we live in a world where we're being told something else, I want to be a voice of reason. So the documentary is so important because it's going to speak to people who have tried what I did, which is a plant-based diet. And for some people with the right type of supplementation, it can work. But you got to be really astute to pull that off, right? For me, even if even being an astute doctor, master's in nutrition, it just wasn't working for me because the fiber and all that stuff bloats you and gives you abdominal cramping. And for me, it just wouldn't work. No matter how much Beano I took, it didn't work. So one of the things that's really I wanted to emphasize during my time is the blue zones. And if you either Netflix has a documentary, and hopefully our version of what we're trying to teach will be on Netflix. And so you now have a documentary on Netflix that is teaching you that the blue zones is the secret, right? And there's a lot of truth to that, but there's one part of that that's not true. So when Dan Buettner, and I encourage you to even watch the documentary, when Dan Buettner came up with this blue zones concept, the framing was around this idea that you have to be plant-based to be a centenarian, which are people who live to 100, right? And that's just not true because it's false in that there's this narrative that in the blue zones, they don't eat meat. That's the narrative, right? And that's just absolutely not true. In fact, when I was at the Symposium for Metabolic Health, my topic was how vegans and carnivores can live in harmony. And one of the talking points I had was this essentially misstatement of what the blue zones are. So, for example, one of the blue zones is Okinawa, Japan, and they highlight all of them in that Netflix documentary. And I did a little bit of a search, and I found this study called Nutrition for the Japanese Elderly, which focused on the Okinawa population. And in that paper and during my presentation, they actually found no vegetarians who were centenarians, 0.
Huh.
So that's something, and I think in a lot of these countries, they eat a lot of pork. And then another blue zone was in the Nicoya region of Costa Rica. And one of the foods that, if you just search this, you'll find that they absolutely eat animal protein there. And then you have Sardinia, Italy, which is another blue zone. They have a moderate intake of protein as well. And then in Icaria, Greece, they don't eat a lot of meat there, but they eat a ton of fish. And the last time I checked, that was an animal as well. So, but then what's really interesting, as I was going to do my presentation, that's when I met Russ of Home Sick Buckeye. Shout out to Russ. I know he'll be on later tonight. But he said, as I was talking to him, he said, well, my whole family's been 7-day Adventists. And yes, they do teach to be animal-based, but they are also, there's only a few people that actually are plant-based in that environment. So it's really more of a plant-based ideology. And so I said, okay, well, fine. I didn't find a study, so I did look it up. And when I looked it up, he was right. He said around 30%. When I looked it up, only 15% of the Loma Linda 7-day Adventists are vegan. 15%. So when I learned that, I was like, okay. So we've been basically told a mistruth, and the mistruth is that you have to be plant-based to be healthy. So we already know that's not true. So now I will say this: Dan Buettner, when he put his research together, he did come up with the other things that are important to live a long life. So many people choose this dietary pattern to heal, but a lot of us choose it to have longevity and have more time with our family. So, and I'm going to do a video on my YouTube channel about this, but one of the things that he talked about that I agree with everything else in terms of how to live long. One is to move naturally. So in America, where I'm at, in Chicago, it's hard to move naturally, meaning being out, because some people live in a tough neighborhood, not too far from this clinic, the neighborhood gets tough. And maybe being out and being active in the community is not as safe, right? But in those places like Okinawa, Japan, they're out, they do a lot of gardening and things of that nature. So number one, if you want to live a healthy life, let's move. And if you can't do it in your community, go to the mall, move, and just, park the car further away from the entrance, things like that. The other thing that is true of the blue zones is that you have to know your purpose, right? My purpose is being on this podcast in the middle of my, this fundraiser in the middle of my clinic to share this message, share the message that, you know what, metabolic health is going to help you live longer. And we're going to do everything within our power to remove the barriers to make sure that happens. Believe it or not, although I'm working right now, another thing they do in the blue zones is they don't work as much. They work less. Anybody that's visited Europe and places like that know that they have long, they have 2-hour, meals and things of that perspective. So, and one of the things we do in the carnivore community very well that they do in the blue zones is they eat until they're full. It's just easier to stay full if you eat protein and fat, which is why we prefer that. Another thing they do in the blue zones is they drink wine. Now, I'm not a big drinker, and certainly when I was in France, that wasn't a good idea for me. But wine seems to be something you see often. But the other things they mentioned are religion. You don't have to be religious, but if you are religious, that seems to help. I just think you have to connect with the universe as well. And then the thing that I love about this community, and some of you guys are new friends that I've gotten to know more recently, social networks. If you have a community that supports you, which is why I'm referring my patients to most of you guys' YouTube channels and trying to have a social network to support people, and of course, prioritizing family. So those are the things that are really important for longevity. Avoiding meat is not one of those things, and I wanted to say that out loud. And the last couple of things I'd like to say as it relates to longevity, yes, Dr. Colin Campbell, who wrote the China study, he's 89, so clearly what he's doing is working for him. But don't forget, Dr. Richard Bernstein, who wrote the Diabetes Solution, who's a type 1 diabetic who's essentially killing it in a good way, he's 89 too. So to think that you have to be plant-based to have longevity is a farce. And Dr. Richard Bernstein, the type 1 grit community for type 1 diabetics or people with diabetes, that's the better way to say it. That's another thing I want to say. And just remember that the blue zones is not what you think it is, that the China study was not a great source. It was a observational study that doesn't show causation. The data was misleading. There was questionable leaps in logic. It just wasn't a reliable way to judge. So, and then in terms of countries, most of us on this panel already know that when it comes to the countries that live the longest, you got countries like Japan, but you also have Hong Kong, and in Hong Kong, they basically have the longest longevity, or in second place almost every year, and they eat more meat per capita than any other place on the planet. Essentially, I think maybe 2 8 or 12-ounce steaks per person per day, the equivalent of that. And then places like Iceland, where they eat a lot of fish, they're in the top 20 for longevity as well. So I think the final thing I would say before I, hear you guys' comments is on my platform, Protecting Your Nest, my goal is to help people understand what the barriers are to their success. So when I'm seeing patients here in this clinic, I don't just talk about low carb, keto, or carnivore. I talk about what is it that is preventing you from being successful. So it may mean that I've, gotten a weight loss plateau and I'm doing low carb, but the E in the nest is about exercise. So I talk about, let's find a way to move that you can tolerate. I just had a 98-year-old, literally the second to last patient I saw this morning. She's doing a great job, but she's been falling. And I said, let me touch your thighs. And I wasn't flirting with her, even though I like, I experienced woman. I'm serious. I like an experienced woman. So I touched her thighs, and there was no muscle there. So number one, what's the best source of amino acids? Meat from animals. Number two, if you are trying to be Sean Baker or Anthony Chafee and you don't exercise, you're probably still not going to build muscle. You may maintain muscle, which is what I can't believe Dr. Anthony Chafee said. Every week or so I exercise. I'm like, really? Like, really? Is that all it takes? But he's awesome. But so the exercise, the stress and sleep is important. A lot of my patients struggle with less sleep, too much stress. I talk about that. And the T is our thoughts, self-limiting thinking, not believing in yourself. I listen to inspirational people all the time. Anthony Robbins, the hip hop preacher, Eric Thomas, and others, Les Brown, to keep me inspired. And then, of course, if I've had trauma in my life because people told me I was fat when I was young or somebody abused me, I need to recover from that. And our health system, which is called Advocate Health, we've been able to really provide trauma recovery. And then if you need a rope to climb up to the nest. Relationships, the relationships I have with people on this panel, other guests will be joining us like Dr. Ovadia and others. These are relationships that are important, making sure my marriage is healthy, avoiding the O and the P as organisms and pollutants that can harm us, staying away from processed food. On the south side of Chicago, they got issues with the environment. Lead is in our water. They don't talk about it, but that's what it is. Staying away from that crap. And then the E is our emotions. Can we protect our emotions? And that, how I talk to my wife, how she talks to me, all of that stuff is important. I mean, and I'm gonna give an example of that when I think about my wife. So if I told her that, I need to have a suit because I'm going out of town, and she forgets to take the suit out of the cleaners, right? I can handle that two ways. I can come home and say, I see you forgot to get the suit out. Okay, let's go do that. No big deal. We got this. I know you probably were busy. Or I can say, you don't really care about me. You're concerned about your own needs, and you're just, that kind of person. There's a difference. And what you have to do is have the skills to learn how to have an adult conversation, honor people, and have healthy relationships. If you have people talking to you in a way that's making them defensive, etc., that's not going to be successful. So for me, it's not just about diet, it's about all of those other factors, and that includes social determinants of health. If I got somebody that doesn't have the economics to pay for the grass-fed beef, then first of all, I don't need to eat grass-fed beef, but let's figure out how to make their economics better. Let's figure out how to give them access to care. Let's figure out how to make sure that they have a safe place to exercise. So to me, it's about the social determinants of health, finding out what the barriers are, and then giving people options. And if you're a plant-based person checking us out, have at it. But for people who want to be carnivores, give them the choice to be a carnivore. Let's stop doing what they do in New York, where we tell people you can't have meat on Mondays and Fridays. Is that the America we were born in? And imagine this. Imagine if we flipped it and said on Mondays and Fridays, you can't eat plants. Right. What would that feel like? So we can't live in a country where we tell people how to eat. We live in a country where we educate, we look at real science, and then we let adults do what adults do. That's a better model, and that's the model I advocate. So I hope I didn't go on a rant, but I just wanted to get those points out.
I love it.
That's such good stuff. And I mean, you alluded to it being a worldwide issue. And we've had, as just before you, Dave Mack was on, he's in Tokyo, you're in Chicago, I'm in the backwoods of South Carolina, Alea is in Colombia. It's not just an American issue, it's a worldwide issue. And I think getting that message, I guess my question for you would be two-faceted. One would be, what is our best possible way of getting this message into the streets of Chicago, the backwoods of South Carolina, and there? and tying it together with that mental aspect, because it's change starts in the mind, not in the mirror.
It does. And I'll be honest, so Advocate Health is one of the top 10 health systems for size, right? We're in 6 states, Wisconsin, Illinois, North South Carolina, Alabama, and Georgia. So the way to make change is to do what Virta Health did, VIRTA. They did research, and they did that before they started to sell their product, which is low carb for metabolic health and disease reversal, particularly for diabetes. So in order to change the world, see, the United States is considered the leader in a lot of ways. And so what we do, a lot of countries will then follow. So if you're in a large health system, and what Dr. Tro did, many people know Dr. Tro, he said, here's an industrial company. And we're going to go to that industrial company and say, we can reduce the cost of your care to your employees. And what he was able to do with a low-carb diet with coaching, he reduced the cost of care. It's about 12 people in the study, $4,000 per employee per year. So show me the money. This is not Jerry Maguire, but if you show them the money and you can improve outcomes, it may not be good for the pharmaceuticals. It may not be good for everybody involved, but it'll be good for the insurers, though, because they're going to reduce the cost of care. And so for me personally, and this is why I'm one of the few low-carb docs that's still in a large health system, right? For me, it would come down to a large health system creating programs to support people who want to achieve metabolic health. You give them the dietary options that make sense. Low carb would be my favorite. And then what you would do is then provide coaching for them. You surround it with research so that as we do this work, we can then publish it and say, hey, this is something that the other health systems can do. We're saving money. People are happy. They love us because they say, finally, a doctor talks about nutrition. Finally, a doctor understands it. And we say, and then I go to the American Medical Groups Association, which is all the medical groups combined. I'm talking about health equity there, but then you then go to the American Medical Groups and talk about it. And then you go to the American Medical Association. Then you go to, you share this message, and then that'll then shift the tide towards this model, and then other countries will follow. So I think that's how you do it. And if you do it that way, it'll start to go, leave this social media, YouTube, podcast space and enter the mainstream, because we know it works. And doctors should be curious how some doctors take people off medicines and others don't.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Dr. Hampton, we hope to reach a large audience with the documentary. I guess if you could you see a ton of patients and you've been doing this for a while, if you could kind of distill down all of your wisdom, everything you've sort of learned, like if people watch this documentary and they take nothing else away from it, what would be sort of a good message from your perspective?
I think for me, it's to go back to, Hippocrates, that food is medicine, and that if you think about some of the things I mentioned before, most people are not aware that metabolic health, if you achieve it, you'll prevent most of the things that scare us about being sick. So when I talk to patients, I say to them, you know what, tell me about your family history. And they start to tell you the things that exist. And I said, so if I had a way to not only reduce your risk for the diabetes and the blood pressure and the cholesterol that may be a little off, or your risk for cancer, your risk for polycystic ovarian, your risk for fibroids, your risk for, breast cancer, dementia, would you be interested in what that was? And then I would say to the world who's checking us out is that the best way to achieve that is by what you put in your mouth. So, because if I use hypertension as an example, most doctors in conventional medicine would say, well, it's about reduce the salt, right? And I would say, absolutely, too much salt will attract water into those blood vessels, and then that'll increase your risk for hypertension and eventually heart disease. And then I'll say to them, well, but did you know that if you have hyperinsulinemia, where you make too much insulin, and that's primarily driven by your diet, that'll also lead to you holding on to water or sodium. It'll also lead to insulin resistance, which will then reduce your nitric oxide. We know nitric oxide relaxes our blood vessels, and now you're going to constrict them. It'll also affect your calcium in such a way that that'll also cause constriction. It'll also increase macrophages in, kind of moving towards your endothelial line, the lining that surrounds your arteries, and causing inflammation. And so why focus just on the sodium? Carbohydrates do attract water. It has hydrates, so it attracts water and salt. But did you know that if you focus on the hyperinsulinemia, you can prevent all of those other things? And what's ironic about blood pressure is that us carnivores know that not only do we not have to worry about salt, we have to add salt.
Yeah.
So no doctor's taught that adding salt is a good thing. Well, if you eat this dietary pattern, you have to add salt. So the key is, as my Nest and Rope focuses on, what is the root cause? And if we focus on, my functional medicine taught me the root cause of why we get sick is the focus. Yes, I'm going to treat the person with pneumonia. Yes, I'm going to treat the person who broke their ankle. But if I want to prevent pneumonia and I want to make sure they heal, I need to have a dietary pattern that makes that possible. So if we focus and put all our resources into this approach, we will be able to prevent and heal as opposed to manage disease, which is what our current model in the United States and in most countries is. So let's move towards healing and restoration. We'll use our technology when we can. If I break a leg, I do want somebody to fix it. But I want to also prevent that break because I had muscles, just like that 98 year. I got muscles in my thighs, and I also have the right nutrients to build the bone and the ligaments and tissues, which is amino acids that come from animals. So that's how I would go about that.
Love it. Thank you so much, Dr.
Awesome.
Hampton. You're the best. I wish we had Russ on here because you guys had some pretty good banter back and forth last time. You were giving it.
Russ, if I see him in person, I don't care how big he is. I don't care if he lost 100 pounds. I'm hitting him in his chest. Everybody check out Homesick Buckeye. Russ is amazing, funny as it gets. And I thank God he's in the community. As you know, not a lot of people of color in a community. So when I met Russ, I was like, we got to get some more people in the community because you said reach people. Part of reaching people is to have people of color on the platforms. And I think we're getting there, but we got to keep doing that. And I think we need all the, I do stuff with the Steak and Butter Gal. You want to have different races, different communities, so people who may need that, everybody doesn't need that. They may be more relatable to some people. So I'm a big fan.
Absolutely. It's much bigger than just us. It's real people and real lives making real changes, and that's how we do it. We show real examples. This is real life. This ain't Hollywood. This is real life. So thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for your influence, and thank you for sharing your story and your wisdom with us today. I appreciate that.
Will. And I'll throw in out when I get a little time later, I'll comment here and there, and just keep up the good work. Get some rest if you can. Once this is done, I love you guys. Okay.
Thank you. Everyone, go check out Dr. Tony Hampton. You're on YouTube. Do you want to shout anything else out real quick?
Yeah, YouTube for sure. Trying to grow that channel like all of us. But the other thing is the link tree. So if they search Dr. Tony Hampton, you crazy girl, Dr. Tony Hampton link tree. If they search that, they can get my handout where what to eat, what not to eat, more low carb focus. I did a video with A-Day Fox. She's been a little bit out of the loop lately, but the Black Carnivore that talks about how to start low carb. So those videos are there, and that'll be very helpful to get people started. And there's a great video on diabetes and hypertension featured video. So check that out, Linktree. Check out the YouTube channel. We're going to keep preaching this message, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming.
My nurse is going to get me in a few minutes, so I'm out of here. Take care, guys.
Take care. Good to see you.
All right. That was awesome.
I'm going to take a restroom break, guys.
Bye.
Peace out. It's so good seeing you today. No, I'm just kidding.
We do a quick update, Alia?
Yeah, but we got to read these super chats first.
Okay.
And I'll get prepared.
All right. I'm going to try to read these very, very quickly. There's
Okay.
43 of them. So Carnivore
Craziness.
Backwoods, new member. Awesome. Thank you. Absolutely relative. $5. Adam, can you please speak a little more on any alcohol cravings you have had? How do you battle? I have never had alcohol cravings. I think that might have been for Dave. And he did answer that question, but thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Carnivore Scott, $20 super sticker. Thank you so much. Awesome. Lori Woodward, RN, new member. Thank you so much. Natural and Simple Living, $20 super chat. Thank you. Susan, $20. Awesome. Thank you. Charles Lopez, let's get this movie made. Thank you all for your excellent content creations, as it greatly helps motivate down 150 pounds with keto and carnivore. Keep up the good work. Awesome. That is really awesome. Hyper Carnivorous Life, $10. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work, my carnivorous friends. Looking forward to the future. Absolutely. Keto Voragonian, Laura has inspired me for years. Yes, awesome. $7.99 super sticker chat from Jason Kornick. Thank you so much. And I believe this is Laura's husband, Chris Bath, $100. Yeah. Thank you so much. Awesome. MO, $10. Keep up the great work. Awesome. $10 super sticker from Don Mertz. Thank you so much. Carnivore for Future, 100 SEK. Well, I'm not sure what that is. Celebrate 4-year carnivore today. Was 637 pounds. Now dropped 297 pounds. Check the scale. I'm maybe the most severe obese guy, plus 600 pounds, done this journey. I'm doing raw meat carnivore since 3 months. Awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat. Barry Simon, $20. I started watching Dr. Baker, which led to Dr. Chafee, Dr. Barry, and the rest of the community. Carrie, you're awesome, and I look forward to this documentary. Thank you so much. Lisa C., new member, thank you. Limitless Lindy, new member, awesome. Lisa C., $40. Happy 40th birthday, Alia. Woo! All right, let's see. Sherry Snyder, $20 super sticker, thank you. Marmar, $10 super sticker, thank you. Tanya Catazone, new member, thank you. Thomas, new member, thank you. Georgia Carnivore, $20. Talking with docs, 2 orthosurgeons, very pro standard American diet would be good for counter discussion. Absolutely. Thank you. Rich Walker, $20. Would like to see research articles, controlled trials that prove the benefits of carnivore in the documentary. Thank you for the super chat. Happy birthday blessings to Alia. Thank you for helping others. Awesome. $5. Thank you. Les Kaiser, Ohio. Here you guys are so inspiring. Started my new journey with you day 5. P.S. Ask Dave how I can get one of those awesome shirts he is wearing. $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Barbivore, $20. Happy birthday, Alia. $2. Pat a Bear. Happy birthday, Alia.
Yeah.
$3 super sticker. Carnivore Nana. Awesome. Oh my gosh, there's so many of these.
This
Don,
is for Dr. Hampton.
Question for Dr. Hampton. Is he restricted or have to be careful recommending diets that go against the mainstream standard of care? Thank you so much for the super chat, Don. $10. $5. Happy birthday, Alia. Carnivore Scott. Lori Woodward, RN, $10. Just bought a cutting board. So excited to get it. Thank you. And $10 from Georgios. Thank you. Michelle McGarty, $20. Thank you. And I'm not going to continue because we need to get to our guest.
Yeah, we got to get going.
I just have to do a quick update on the fundraising. Really quick. I will do that super duper fast. So we're at, can you see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, good. So we are at, well, I'll just say we're at 4,600. Let me see if I can do that again. I had the wrong screen up there. We're at 4,600 for the morning. This is crazy, guys.
Awesome.
So just rapid Alia math. Rapid fire Alia math. We almost have 1,500 people watching. 1,500 times $100 is $150,000.
Woo!
Let's do that right now. Okay, I'll stop talking.
Rita.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi there.
I just want to say, you guys, this is incredible. Like, you've been on for a few hours and you've already raised that much money.
Yes.
Guys, Carnival is away. Everybody watching, if you hear anything that is pertinent to you today, raise your money, raise the awareness that carnivore is a lifestyle that we need to follow and live our optimal life. And I can see these noddings. And I'm sure that if I could see all these people out there, I'll be seeing these noddings as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because yes, isn't it the way? Hasn't it healed our lives so much? So I just want to say a big thank you for everything that you guys are doing, including you, Kerry. And thank you for letting me be here. It's wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I love what you're doing for sure. Would you mind? We had such a good conversation before too. I really enjoyed talking to you. I know we're talking again. Would you mind giving maybe a little bit of your background expertise with our audience?
Yeah, sure. So for those that might not know me, my name is Rena. I'm on YouTube, 5 Minute Body. My journey really started, I guess, 20 years ago when I kind of started dieting and trying to find optimal health. I dealt with severe sugar addiction, body image issues. I had a lot of gut issues. I tried every diet: vegan, vegetarian, paleo, pescatarian, keto. I think I tried Atkins, everything out there. It wasn't until I found Dr. Ken Berry 3 years ago, I found carnivore, and I thought, what is this eating meat? Red meat. I never tried eating red meat previously. I was eating chicken, I was eating fish, low fat, and all the vegetables. So I thought, okay, need to start eating some beef. Need to start eating some red meat. So I tried doing the leaner meats because I thought, okay, you know what? I can't eat the fattier beefs. Like I can't stomach that. And then I started feeling better. I started feeling that my sugar addiction, my binging was going away. So I was doing that and I just thought, okay, I need to find more information. I just started interviewing people on my YouTube channel. And now I'm just like, wow, carnivore, honestly, if you do it the way that if you're eating the way that you're meant to be eating ancestrally, which is fatty meats, taking out all the rubbish, the seed oils, the toxins, the sugar, all the chemicals that we have been brainwashed to believe that we need to eat, the power of just doing that heals everything and anything that you can believe. I'm not just saying my story. We hear so many people's stories. I even spoke to Professor Seafried yesterday about cancer, talking about the roots of cancer, that we hear that cancer is something that we're either born with, it's something that it's a chronic disease that we have no control over. So he's talking about ketogenic diets, metabolic therapy to actually treat cancer. That cancer is a disease of mitochondrial dysfunction. We also hear this about heart disease, brain disease. How many people do we see that have Alzheimer's, gut issues, SIBO, all these different things? That's why I interview all these people, to hear people's stories and speak to doctors so that we can find the truth about how we should be eating to heal all these problems that everyone is dealing with, but there seems to be no solution, but there is. And it starts with what we eat, which is meat. So that was a long-winded story about me.
No, that's wonderful. So you've done a lot of coaching over the years too, is that right?
Yeah, so we have our carnivore group where I have my own carnivore coaches, and I also have guest speakers coming on each week. And what we do is it's coaching, but carnivore is simple, but it's not so simple because it's about what we see on the outside around. Yes, Kerry, yes. It's the different things that we talk about: cholesterol, saturated fat, how to stay on carnivore, what are the best meats that we should be eating. A lot of people undereat protein because they think that, oh, if I eat, over 100 grams of protein, that's going to kill my kidneys, or I'm going to get gout, or I'm going to get heart disease from eating too much protein. So it's all these things that we talk about in the coaching just to help people stay on the lifestyle. And what you're doing here, which is spreading the word, it is so important that people hear the power of carnivore, the power of eating what we're ancestrally meant to be eating.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole goal with the documentaries, to share some of these remarkable stories and examples from people. So what are some things you've seen over the years in terms of remarkable stories or examples of people with carnivore?
Examples of people. So I spoke with Dante just last week. So you know Dante,
Yeah.
right? 88 pounds in 125 days from just eating meat. So he tried Atkins, right? So he was his top weight was 302 pounds, and then he dropped to about 214 pounds. So he lost 88 pounds in 6 months doing Atkins. But then he fell off the wagon because he thought, you know what, I've reached my goal weight. I can just have a bit of this or that, or it just gives you more freedom with Atkins, like with keto. Then he got serious about his weight when he was going, I think it was Taco Bell. He looked at his reflection in the mirror and thought, you know what? I'm just saying his story again, but he said, I just can't do this. And that was his turning point. So we always talk about a why. What is your why?
Right.
And Dr. Weidman says, what is your why that makes you cry?
I love
What
that.
is your why that's going to make you make the change that you need to make the change in your life? It can be a chronic disease. It can be weight loss. It can be energy. It can be any of that. For Dante, it was the fact that he was 302 pounds, that he was suffering. He was so chronically depressed that he was saying that it was just so bad that he couldn't even explain how bad it was. That was his turning point. With carnivore, in 125 days, he lost 88 pounds. I think it was all close to 100 pounds. So it's stories like that. I just spoke to Christina, who's one of my coaches, and she was talking about previously she had SIBO, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. Every single night she couldn't sleep. She was up 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. because when you have these bugs in your stomach, they cause all this havoc, and part of it is not being able to sleep. So carnivore completely healed that within 3 months. When the doctors were telling her to be on this diet, this supplement, and nothing was helping, that helped her on SIBO, with her SIBO. Kara, I'm going to interview you in 2 weeks. I'm going to hear your story. But there's just countless miraculous stories. And again, it's not just from people that we know, it's doctors, it's people out there that are having these wonderful transformations, just eating meat, getting off medications that they thought they're going to be on for the rest of their lives. You know, even with Dante, he thought that his testosterone supplement, the doctor said to him, you can try this all meat diet, but you'll have to take testosterone for the rest of your life. He went on the diet, he stopped his testosterone supplement, the TRT, and his TRT went from the low 300s to mid or high 500s, which is moderate to high level, just eating meat. So it's not just the weight loss. It's not just chronic inflammation. It's your hormones. And when you fix all of that, miraculous things happen. And really what you're trying to do is to eat nutrient-dense foods, which comes from meat. But the problem is there's been so much backlash with meat. It's brainwashing, it's propaganda, it's big food, it's big pharma trying to, I don't want to be so extreme, but trying to enslave us to eat a diet where we are a bit brainwashed to think a certain way, to act a certain way. And I don't know about you guys, but when you're carnivore, you have a bit more freedom in terms of how you think. You question things a bit more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right? Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So it is this transformation in your health, in your mental health, in your emotional health, in every facet of your life changes when you change the way that you eat. And that's why the documentary is so important. Anything that we can do to get the message out is so important. Not just carnivore, ketogenic diets, feeding your body with protein and fat, which is the essential nutrients that your body needs to thrive. And this is so incredibly important because people feel that they have nowhere to go in their life if they have a disease. It's the end road. You have a choice. The body is so powerful in its healing to recover its immune system, brain function, gut function, and you give it the nutrients that it needs.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. It's you said it, like, I love that statement. You need to know your why that makes you cry. And I think with this documentary, and a lot of people I've seen too, there's a lot of people that already have that why. They're desperate or they have depression. I'm seeing a lot of people getting stuck on the how, and I'm hoping to kind of address that with the documentary a little bit, because it's like you said, there's so much confusion out there. My entire life I've been told you eat meat, it's going to clog your arteries. You should avoid that, eat your vegetables, those sort of things. And there's a lot of people, I think, they're just sort of like a deer stuck in the headlights. It's just inaction, and they're not sure what to do next. Do you have any sort of advice for people that are like that? They want to do something, but they're terrified. They're scared to do anything.
Yeah, and I guess it's understanding the first idea that when anyone starts something new, there's a learning curve. And the first thing is a bit of resistance. It's like, oh, that sounds scary. But with anything like a baby trying to walk, it's scary. Like, how many times does a baby try to take its first steps and fall over? When you start carnivore or anything new, it's okay to fall over. You will fall over, and celebrate the win because you're trying. And as with a baby, when it takes its first steps, when it takes that first step and falls over, that's progress. The next step, it's progress. So when you're asking the how, it's to keep trying. We know what we need to be doing. It's the meat. Eat the meat. Educate yourself. Watch Kerry. Watch other people that are on YouTube. Watch Dr. Ken Berry. Maybe you want to watch my videos. I don't talk that much because I'm interviewing people. But the thing is, watch whomever you love, that you can listen to, that you trust, to get the information that you need. You don't have to have a whole lot of information to make a change. It's about really who you trust, who you resonate with. It's like when you see a doctor, any doctor out there, some people you just think, I really like them. I don't like them so much. And then your ears are open to the people that you really like, the ones that kind of speak your kind of language. So if it's Dr. Ken Berry, watch him. Dr. Chafee, Dr. Wiedemann, Kelly Hogan. So many people out there. But the main thing that you really have to do is to invest in your own education. Yes. Because no one is going to tell you what you need to do. And it's the same thing with every aspect of your health and in your life. The same thing with financial education. We have to learn about that. The same thing with anything, playing a sport, learning a musical instrument, going to the gym, all these different things. There is a learning curve. But the great thing is that there is so much information out there, especially on YouTube, about the how-to, the basics of how to start carnivore. And, you know, the 1, 2, 3 steps, it's there. It's just about finding somebody and really listening and having an open mind to say, you know what, if they're having such incredible results, I think I can have those incredible results. And it will happen for me. And the consistency through that is very important.
Right. Yeah. Baby steps. I think a lot of people, the fear is just lack of knowledge. And the knowledge is out there. It's like you said, you just got to go get it. Just research it. It's amazing. You just pull this thing up and you type it in, Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee, whatever. It's all there for you. You can get over that fear that way. So
absolutely.
You've interviewed a lot of really interesting people. I love what you're doing on your channel. You put so much work into each of your videos. You can really see it. I highly recommend everyone check out Rena at 5 Minute Body. Is there one interview or point or something that's really remarkable to you that stands out memorably?
I think that 2 interviews. We love Dr. Anthony Chafee. I think I've interviewed him probably about 5 times on my channel because there are so many different things that I can talk about with him. But it's really, I think the great thing about Dr. Chafee is that he makes it simple. And you hear so many people when they want to calculate macros, protein, fat, high fat carnivore, high protein carnivore, or let's do lion diet, or let's do a sardine fast. Who wants to just eat sardine? The one thing I love about Dr. Chafee is, like, you don't have to know all about all these different things. Eat the meat, salt, and water. And he backs it up with so much evidence that is not just, you know, clinical studies that can be. So if you know anything about clinical studies, there's a lot of variation around how studies are performed, designed. But what he talks about is from our ancestor days. So from a primal perspective, what we were meant to be eating from an evolution point of view. He talks about isotope studies. So really that gives you a lot of backing to be clear about why we are doing this, why carnivore is the way that we should be eating if you want to have an optimal way of life. And he backs it up in how he lives his life. You know, he does the lifestyle. He's been living this lifestyle for, I think it's how many years, like 10 years or over 10 years?
Yeah.
You know, which is quite incredible. The other interviews that I loved was Dr. Ovadia. I just love everything that he has to say. So he is a cardiac heart surgeon. And he had an incredible story where he was severely overweight, obese. And, you know, he performs cardiac surgery. So he's not a cardiologist. He does surgery every single day. And he sees
Thoracics.
people, and he was talking about the youngest person that he has seen was age 35, and she had a disease that could have been preventable with diet, and he had to operate on her. So it's all these different things that you hear, which is remarkable in terms of how people can change their life with diet. You don't have to take medications. You don't have to be suffering through all these different things if you make that change yourself. And I think that because I surround myself with people like this, I'm in the community, I'm talking to doctors, I'm talking to everyday people, it also helps me sound accountable. Because I don't know about you guys, but you're going to go out and you just see sugars and carbs everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. You can't get out of it. So you have to surround yourself with people that are actually doing this lifestyle, that you can think, oh, I'm like you. I'm the same as you. Because we have something called neurons. So anything that we see around us or hear around us, we're going to resonate or have that same behavior. So if you see people eating sugars and breads and carbs, you're going to do the same thing.
Mm.
But if you're seeing people eating meat, eating fat, living a healthy life, and actually saying, this is great, your brain starts to accept it. It doesn't have that resistance. Because a lot of the time I know that people, when they start carnivore, you have like your mum, your dad, somebody down the street say, you're eating a steak? You're going to get heart disease.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to die.
I want to see those LDL numbers.
I want to see the LDL numbers. Oh, have you had your blood work done? And then that person gets scared. I saw my doctor the first year of carnivore. She wanted to put me on a statin because my LDL had increased. Yes, right?
Wow.
And I was doing carnivore, talking to all these experts, and I can't swear, but I got really scared, can I just say? Because I'm 40 years old and they say to me, go on a statin. I'm like, what? Like, am I doing something wrong? And I was doing this and talking to all these people that are carnivore, like Dr. Chafee, like Dr. Berry, Kelly Hogan. And then the doctor's saying you have to go on a statin. So then I messaged Dr. Chafee and he said, fire that doctor. I was like, okay, right, I'm gonna do that. So, and you can see, like, it doesn't matter who you are. When you see these people that it could be a doctor, it could be your friend or family, and they go against what you're trying to do, it affects you. So going back to the how, it's surrounding yourself with people that are doing the same thing. If you want to do a behavior, it doesn't have to be just eating meat. It could be walking, going to the gym. It could be just being positive and not complaining. You got to surround yourself with people that are doing the same thing. It's as simple as that. So that's what I do.
I love that. I've never really thought about that too much, but in my house, it's nonstop carnivore content. It seems like it's the same thing for everyone. I'm hoping to get more meetups and I've been meeting people locally, but I never really thought about the why for that. I guess that's why it is important to surround yourself around people like that. Sorry, Sean, I cut you off there.
I know. No, just kidding. No, so seriously, so what is probably one of the most beneficial things that you have found in your own personal journey that impacted your mental health as far as continuing to change this process, whether it be something recently or early on? Obviously, the nutrition is a key factor, but is there anything else outside of that that you've used that's kept you focused and helped change your mental attitude towards things?
I think before I started carnivore, I was seeing, so I had a eating disorder called night eating syndrome. That means that you wake up in the middle of the night, you eat majority of your calories that you'd probably eat during the day, you eat at nighttime. Plus you eat what you eat during the day. That made me really depressed. I literally would not go out. I had a lot of social anxiety. I couldn't function day to day because I didn't know why this was happening. I later found out after seeing a psychotherapist, a hypnotherapist, a psychiatrist, and a psychologist, and they put me on drugs, Zoloft. I later found out that to heal those eating disorders, I had to go back to heal my emotional trauma from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was doing was eating all these different diets that weren't feeding me nutrients, which was exacerbating the situation. So when I found carnivore and eating meat, what happened was I was feeding my body and my brain with enough fat, enough protein, enough things that my body needed to just calm down. So I didn't have to take any, like the Zoloft. I didn't have to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist or any of these people. I actually got a lot of confidence back in my life. I'm able to function. I don't binge ever.